What can you do with 70 yuan? Between eating a crazy Thursday and buying a newbie cake, I hesitated for a long time. In the end, I chose to love my career. 69.91, the full amount of jade oil chasing the wind. 2. The packaging is low-key and provincial, but there are a lot of contents in it. In addition to the handle body, there is also a manual Type-C data cable sent for 2 replacements. The joystick cap and round row of arrow keys are available in the 89.9 version. A 2.4G receiver is also included with a handle in black, white, blue, gray, and powder. The 5 color matching bodies are decorated with matte PC plastic glossy lines. It has a lot of esports flavor. At the top is the charging port. There are 2 expansion buttons on the back, and there is even a back key lock, which is really surprising. Joystick trend, highlight moment of the audience. Metal protection ring plus RGB light ring screenshot key. It can switch between 3 modes, streamer color and monochrome. In general, the appearance of Chasing the Wind 2 is still quite high. Even at a glance it looks better than some pure and simple mid to high-end handles. There must also be a sense of memory, but if you look closely, there are still some small flaws in terms of workmanship, such as seam hunting. But then again, this is not a problem on a 100 yuan handle. In addition, the black rocker cap is a bit stained. Students who care about it can choose from several other colors. I personally think that several light colors are also very good. What do you think the appearance of Chasing the Wind 2 can be scored? Let's try the feel. Handle mold is more suitable. The small and medium-sized grip weight 205 grams grip is not coherent. Of course, this price is understandable without overloading. Compared with a generation of Chasing the Wind, the second generation is in the grip, and anti-slip patterns are added to the back and shoulder sword trigger sword. You don't have to worry about a slippery tragedy. The action button is a conductive rubber feel, and the press is weak. The rebound is moderate. Flip the button. It also feels quite soft. You can also switch between cross or disc key tips according to your own habits. Press crisply, trigger force. Small and all districts are set up evenly. In fact, I personally think there is no problem with the feel of the buttons. Especially conductive crossing will be preferred. However, the general ABXY key tip keys controlled on the empty gunshot sound, including the back key. Even on time there is a little clicking sound. There is definitely no problem with playing games normally, but if you want to have an absolute respect night, cat players may be more concerned about some linear triggers forming quite long. Smooth pressing, playing racing games should be very cool, but without a trigger lock it is not possible to switch fly linear. Competition that pursues a 0.1 second limit firing speed, players should think about it first. There are no problems with the position of the spare parts and the pressing angle. It is very convenient to exert force. At the same time, there is also a spare parts lock which can be directly clicked with one button. It is very practical to avoid mistakes. Overall, the grip and keys feel decent. There is no trigger lock. It's a bit of a pity. But with the back key lock and the replaceable D-pad, the joystick cap is still a plus. Let's take a look at the tuning arrow key at the algorithm level. There is no case of key threading. Wrong and accurate. There is a vacant position before and after the moving machine to effectively prevent mistakes. Supports 256 levels of linear variation. When changing step by step, the data has jitter. This has no effect on normal use. If you use the joystick, the center point is dead. It is around 5%. After dying through the third-party software gamepad space set to 5, they are still dead. And through the purchase network, the center area of the joystick is enlarged. There is a slight cross-adsorption when pushed slowly. But the official pre-tour said, optimizing software adaptation will completely solve the dead problem. We can wait and see. The outer ring adopts a pure circular tuning source. The error rate is 0.1% in wired mode. The joystick return rate is 800 to 900 Hz in 2.4G mode. Approaching 1000 Hz is quite good. In addition, this receiver can realize 1-to-2 play. Collaborative games like duo forming don't require an additional receiver anymore. Test it again. Press and hold the T button to switch the 3 gears with the left joystick up or down. Vibrating artery impulses, the feeling is relatively soft. In general, there is still room for improvement in the joystick tuning of Chasing the Phoenix 2. There are restrictions on FPS games, but a game that can easily hold the action. The handle is compatible with PC, Android, iOS, NS1 and NS2 support wired Bluetooth 2.4G tri-mode connection. It also supports software meal preparation. Download gamepad space on your mobile phone and turn on the Bluetooth HID mode of the controller to connect. Can be modified in software. Red edge city waist pole dead zone, curve trigger dead zone, adjustment somatosensory mapping, etc. Yes, you read the handle of the 69 correctly. There are really 6 weeks of Tualu surprised. When connecting to NS to play Zelda, the shooting button is very sufficient. The delay is almost not felt. I also played for a while. The Horizon 5 trigger oil control is very precise. Especially the delicacy of cornering, the advantages of operating the linear trigger are reflected. The racing game experience is pretty good. In addition, if you want to play an Android mobile game, you need to download Shooting Plus V3 for mapping. Finally, we quickly disassembled the machine. Look at the internal material. Action key, arrow key is. The sharp key of the conductive ring is a light speed switch. The Hall joystick trigger with space price is also Hall's. Compared with a generation, this time the battery has been upgraded to a 1000 mAh large capacity. And there is a battery compartment to protect the rotor motor soldered to the PCB board. Looking closely at the motherboard, the workmanship solder joints are still relatively full. The hole is also very neat. In the tens of yuan, this gear can give double cargo and large capacity. The battery is indeed quite sincere. Here. To be honest, I feel like I'm chasing the wind. 2. Shoecake is not a hexagonal warrior. He is not very good in terms of bedroom feel and joystick tuning. But it is true that it is a survivor under the price butcher's knife. After all, he took out the gyroscope plus the Hall plane. Hall joystick plus 1000 mAh battery configuration. There are also 5 color options. In fact, for students who want to play games on all platforms within a budget of 100 yuan. Or for players who want to get a spare handle. The 69.9 Royal Journey Chasing the Wind 2 is actually very cost-effective.